Greetings, everyone. I am...
No way I'm listening to Jumanji talk again. Hey, I'm No Tofu, and this is Pathfinder Kingmaker. But you probably already knew that, you smart little baby you. This is my multi-part series on the game mentioned before. I'm playing one of the pre-made characters, Maku, the big bad Paladino. I have an affinity for paladins, if I'm being honest. Just not the terrible morality system built into them by most rule systems. So what you're seeing is Jumanji's castle being attacked right before we, and several other adventurers, are sent off to stop the Stag Lord. This prick is out in the woods and wants everyone to party while he tells them about how cool his bow is. While we blasted our way through Tutorial Castle, we encountered several members of our party. The Bard, Lindsay, the Big Dick Barbarian, Amiri, Aram, the Cleric of Buzzkill, Jalith, the Undead one, and Valeri, the last good Karen. We also encountered our rival, Tartuccio, the purple eggplant bastard, trying to blame us on everything. After we delivered the restraining order to Stagsy, we were promised to be Lord of this land. Paperwork included. I mean, it's like bandit-infested land, but it'll be ours. The survivors of the expendable adventurers that had gathered have been split up in their two groups, and we're told to set out. So let's get started. Here we are at my friend Oleg's crib, and he's always throwing the wildest parties for bandits. Or maybe he's being robbed. I forget which one is happening. So anyway, after we handle his party, he mentioned that we're going to get free rooms. And Oleg's outpost is really going to be our sort of base of operations throughout Chapter 1 of this adventure. I will say though, Oleg loves his Home Alone pranks. We're just going to grab some sleep after a long day of traveling. And oh my god, the Guardian of the Bloom? Oh, cut. We can't show all that. Basically, there's a fog that's killing the forest, and the nymph believes that it has something to do with the Stag's Lord. Who would have guessed? So anyway, this is the Guardian of the Bloom, and they told us that out in the forest, there lives an evil druid that has some rancid vibes coming from their hut. And this is our first lead. Here's where we found out that Tartuccio was traveling to from a friendly, mysterious old guy. Because you should always trust random strangers, according to fantasy games, that is. Honestly, it probably won't be the last random person our heroes take advice from. So Tartuccio is talking shit to his own team, so what we do is we convince Aram that it's time to join our side, and then we proceed to kick the tar out of the no-names left in the room. We're hot on the trail of the Eggplant, but, real quick, it's time to collect the loot. We just need to avoid this trap, watch our feet, and wait, no! Barely made it out of that cave. But we did find some bandits that are working for the Stag Lord. Turns out his checks bounced, so they're really okay with selling him out. We even got this letter explaining what the guys were doing so far north. Looks like calligraphy isn't Stagsy's strong suit. I wonder what's up with his dad to want to burn down his house. This is my good friend Jode. Jode loves the god Aristil, and is really bummed that there's an old temple dedicated to his god just ruined out here in the forest. Pretty sure everything is connected, so maybe we'll find out more about this mist that Bloom wants us to look in, based on what Jode's told us. Finally found where the druid's hut is. We just gotta travel further up north, and now we're ambushed. Who are you? Turns out these are slavers from the Technic League, looking for more free help. I know my resume is shit, but I think I can do better than forced employment. We kicked their teeth in, and their leader got away. Hey Bloom, wait, you beat us to the druid's hut? I don't see why we needed to come all the way out here if you could just, you know, teleport here. This must be the Stag Lord as a child. What a crap dad. Electrocuting their son. Well hey, look. Now that he's an adult, maybe they can just resolve their issues rationally. Shit. A little birdie told Bloom that we would be here. Literally, because of the dryad thing. Well anyway, so the druid's bad parenting is what caused the Stag Lord to become a psychopath that he is today. Who would have guessed? And now, Blue wants us to take a look around this house and his cottage. Because being a spirit means that you can't touch rocks, I guess. And after doing a little bit of looking, it looks like the druid is the reason for this fog. Aha! Also, it seems like the fog might be emanating from the same temple that our good friend Joe was talking about. To be even more helpful, Bloom even put it on our map. So let's go! With the help of Bloom, we finally found the Temple of the Elk. This mist is super thick and is causing all the local animals to go crazy. Luckily, I know how to handle these kind of situations. Well, okay, so actually I lied just a little bit. This damn boar took me like 40 minutes to kill. And wiped my whole party maybe 6 times. I got so unlucky, missing almost every single attack the entire time. Honestly, I had no idea what was going on. I looked it up to see if anyone else was having the same issue as me, and other than one guy, I guess I got super unlucky. Honestly, by far the second hardest fight in the entirety of Chapter 1. Giant frogs, nothing. Pack of wolves, a joke. This sick treant bear went down in only a few swings. I think I honestly banked all of my luck, and I got several crits back to back here, so a grain of salt with the bear dying. We saved Trista from being eaten by the various creatures here in the temple. He's a cleric of Serenray, the god of healing, because we all know Harem hasn't been doing so hot healing us so far. Though he didn't seem too weirded out the fact that a nymph told us to come here. He seems like a pretty chill guy, and he has a lot of healing spells, so that'll come in handy later down the road. And actually, after the recording, I looked it up. We may have been overextending our group a bit, really cutting into a lot of the resources we were supposed to be using. The main reason was because I thought the calendar was counting down a lot faster, but really we had a lot more time than I thought. Anyhow, Trista here was also trying to stop the fog, and he wants to join us back at Oleg's, so we're gonna head out. Alright, so there's a couple loose ends that I wanted to touch on after we rest up. So let's take a look at these. There's the Technic League. I've been having these nightmares that have been keeping my main character up. And then we're gonna go check out the big tree in the middle of the forest. I believe that was hinted at being possibly our next stop on the journey. So we got a couple of things to check out. So let's do it. Track down the Technic League's camp. And it looks like they have some people already trapped. Ooh, okay. So I recognize those two. Those are potential party members that we can get. Yes, okay. So we need to let them free, and then we can beat the tar out of all these people. And they're dead. Well, oh well. We still need to figure out where the Technic League are. Alright, I'd like to get over this bridge here, because I've been having these nightmares about Bloom, and man. Apparently there's somewhere further down the road that we need to get, but it seems like the bridge is broke. So let's take a look around, see what we have. Ah, shit! Nah, I'm just joking. He's friendly. Though honestly, I swear some of my IRL groups would have sent an arrow straight through this person's head before even talking with them. Man, sweet graveyard man. Anyhow, our friend here hates his landlord as well, aka the Stag Lord. So, chalk another one up on the board for people that want him dead. Yeah, hey, we're looking for a gnome named Tortuccio. Oh, sorry. They're having some sort of kobold rally or something? Wait. That purple one over there, raising his hand up real salute style. Looks familiar. Hey! That's Tertuccio! That's right. Eat my butt. Later,
it doesn't even make sense.
Oh, yeah. Now you stick the rally on us. Okay, fine. Now we gotta beat up all these kobolds. Well, anyway, after rummaging through his junk, looks like he's, been trying to convince the kobolds that he's some sort of prophet or something. We'll have to head to the tree to find out more. It seems like Tertuccio's been stirring up some trouble between the mites and the kobolds at the great tree here. Normally they seem to stick to their respective sides, but someone's been stealing and getting into places they shouldn't. Each of them kind of want us to join their own side of the fight, but maybe I should chat with my party to figure out what we want to do first. So I spoke with everyone in the party, and the general consensus is that a monster is a monster. Now, I personally don't agree with that, but I think we're gonna go with a more passive or neutral approach here and kind of see how things play out. I'm sure they can come together on this. Let's check in with the kobolds and the mites about our decision. You. No! Well, they didn't take the news well and chose all-out war. Okay, well, we still need to get to the tree and figure out what Tertuccio is up to here. We're gonna be fighting our way through all the kobolds and mites, hoping we don't get caught in the crossfire. So while I'm cutting my way through the mites and the kobolds and even some wolves or whatever those are supposed to be, I did take a look and see if my choice actually changed what the outcome here was. And pretty much no. Like, I get the game can't account for everything that an actual table could, but I just wanted to mention that it seems like it was scripted. Ooh, surprise, a video game is scripted. I mean, hell, I'm a DM, and I would have just liked to have seen some maybe moral choice rather than just all kill the monsters. And it honestly, it was super surprising that even like the reserved party members were definitely like, no, we're really gonna kill all these dudes. No question about it. Monsters are monsters. Anyway, I don't know. I thought that was weird. Oh well. Now that that moral dilemma is out of the way, let's see. Where is this? Ah, here it is. Yeah, okay, so now that I know we're going down in the dungeon filled with monsters with no moral consequence, let's get this thing started. We've managed to beat up the Mite and the Kobold leaders in search of Tertuccio. We'll tear this whole tree down to find you. Alright, so real quick, there was this guy in the comment section of my trailer that said that it was very important that I showed some inventory management because it is integral to the isometric RPG genre. Well, here it is. You like it? You like looking at me selling stuff? Isn't that fun? Okay, let's get back to it. We we also saved Jelith. You know, the undead one from earlier in the video. Turns out Eggplant left her to die. After wanton destruction all the way through, we finally found the MacGuffin. It's a golden frog! Why not? This apparently opens the way to the lowest levels of the tree, where the presumable... Yep, there he is. Tartuccio. You're not getting away this time. Except, after a whole conversation about he's not actually a kobold, how he's been lying to these people, they're still gonna give their lives to defend him. Now, is that stupid kobolds or stupid writing? Who knows? What I do know is that we've stopped many kobolds on our way here, and a few more aren't gonna scare us. Wait. Oh my god, he's got a gun! Okay. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect him to explode everyone that he had tricked, like you had seen on some local news channel. Too much? Besides, knocking out about half of my party and almost every kobold, he didn't really put up much of a fight, honestly. Wizards can't really take an up-close and personal divine wedgie. Real quick while the rest of this fight plays out. How are you liking the video so far? It's been a long time since I've started making this, and learning the software to provide something that I really felt proud about the show was a lot more work than I thought it would be. So, please, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't. Thank you. Check out all this loot we found in the tree! Glad we finally got rid of that Tartuccio fellow! Bloom, we did it! Oh, wait. Did you even know about this whole rivalry thing that I had going on? Anyway, what do you got? The fog is finally letting up. Hell yeah. And Bloom's gonna help us find the Stag Lord's fort because she's gonna mark it on our map. Okay, cool. You just knew that. Cool. Real quick, though, I gotta go tell Reston about Tartuccio. I totally knew he was a spy and a rat. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna go let him know, and then we'll head right out. With a congratulations from Reston, he's going to go inform Jamandi of what we found. And this is it. We are finally going to the big climax to Chapter 1. Let's take down the Stag Lord. On our way to the Stag Lord, we came across our first companion quest. Amiri wants to prove herself as a strong member of our tribe. So, we'll ignore the fact that, you know, she's basically single-handedly been killing everything we've come across in 1 or 2 hits by herself. But hopefully, Amiri will think of us as her new family. Also, there's payback for the other boar! Hell yeah, get it! So I've been thinking about it. The first thing we should do when assaulting a stronghold like this is obviously probably search the perimeter in case there are any guards or something. Well, the Stag Lord likes to spice things up a bit because to guard around the perimeter, he just has a horde of zombies! After we all got our tetanus shots from the zombie bites, we found a group of rabble-rousers that wanted to join us in the assault that were just hanging out outside the base. I guess they were just about to do the same thing we were. We agree that our smaller group will sneak inside and allow them to come in when the time is right. We'll be able to open the door after knocking out a couple guards, and then they can move on in. Unfortunately, after getting over the wall, we find Staggy's right-hand man, Akiraso. However, with some diplomacy checks and getting the edge as a fellow god-botherer, they agree not only to not turn us in, but to even help us in the attack. This is kind of turning into more of a stealthy approach than I figured it would, so let's try and keep that up as best we can. Hell yeah, being sneaky, getting into big fight after big fight with our bard jamming out on their loot, and the barbarian yelling all the time while they're raging is exactly what I had in mind. Honestly though, most of these smucks aren't much of a fight when we get the drop on them. At this point in my playing, I really understood the importance of applying basically every buff you could think of, just to stand the chance, most of the time. It probably was just my bad luck, but my party had terrible attack rolls, combining with the enemies having really good luck all the time, and it was a disaster waiting to happen at any given moment. So I tried to take advantage of what we had. Mage armor, bardic inspiration. Then there was this one fight that was harder than the rest. This guy Dovin. He was a mercenary that was pretty well known in the area. One of the first times I got to use Fairy Fire effectively as he tried to hide from us. After kicking his butt though, he started to beg for his life, saying that he was only really in it for the coin. He would even leave if we gave him the chance, showed him some mercy. Everyone in the party though, they thought he didn't deserve redemption, and they didn't want me to let him to go. It really put me in this moral pickle on whether or not human life had value to the character that I was playing. Yes, slaughtering bad people is morally the right thing to do. Thanks, video games! So since we had the moral high ground, we murdered him, took everything on his body. Just like every player I wouldn't want to play a game with would. So in that sense, it really does simulate real-life tabletop role-playing games. Now to face the Stag Lord himself, and the last remaining bandits in his keep. We've let the extra group inside, flipped your right-hand man, and ended the rest of your goons. What else could one Stag Lord do, huh? Oh, well, he teleported away, and it looks like all my assistants are bugged. Well, fine then. We'll fight you in a semi-fair in square. Hold on. It's probably kind of hard to tell in the video here, but all the NPCs that gathered to help us with this fight ended up bugging out, so they really didn't do anything. Actually, even the enemies with the Stag Lord had some issues with actually drawing their swords and fighting us. I guess everyone kind of just wanted to see what we were doing. Oh well. It just hit me. I'm this far into the video, and I realized I never really talked about much of what was actually happening in the fights. Okay, so basically here what we ended up doing was we buffed the Miri with everything we had, just like every other fight up until this point. And then we had to run along the edge of the building to get up to this little platform that the Stag Lord had made his archers post here. After which they kind of just traded blows for a while back and forth. The Stag Lord sometimes taking pot shots at the group down below, which just provoked attacks of opportunity, so that was weird. And then the rest of the party, we took out the bandits one by one. Again, this was super easy because the bug, and they weren't really attacking unless we directly engaged them in melee combat, so that was weird. Feel free to pause to read exactly what he said, but the Stag Lord decided that he was going to judge us in his last breaths, similar to how we were kind of judging him, saying that it was sad that right when he was finally able to stand for himself, he was cut down, and that he did everything she asked of him, which is kind of ominous for sure. There are probably some issues with the turn-based mode, as I was playing this a few weeks ago, and I should mention that since then the developers has released a couple of patches, so that's good. The last thing I did want to check before heading out is what's inside his cabin. Oh shit, he literally had his dad trapped in here. I'm surprised he's still alive. This mad druid almost actually killed my party after I was not expecting another fight. Not really sure if there was any option to use diplomacy with him, but certainly that's not an option anymore. Otherwise, I didn't really find anything of note in the cabin. Other than this note of the druid speaking about the queen that the Stag Lord would call out to at night. Maybe it's something that we'll find out more about in the future. We're back to unload all the loot that we took from the fort and to tell Keston that we've saved the stolen lands. Hell yeah! He congratulates us, and Oleg starts to make preparations for us to head back to the castle and receive our reward. Before we do that, though, there are a few loose ends I wanted to clear up. Okay, hold on. So actually, I was going to do this whole thing, but honestly, yikes, this video is kind of stacking up. So let's do a quick lightning round and call it a day. We ended up going back to save Octavia and Ragnar from the Technic League. It was much easier after leveling up and getting all of this fat loot. They joined our party, but they didn't really fit the idea I was going for, so they ended up not being official adventuring folk. We returned to the zombie by the river and allowed him to finally rest. These were-rats kicked my ever-loving ass up and down. I tried to cleanse this tree and got my whole party cursed by this demon lord. I had way too hard a time fighting a bunch of frogs that were attacking a camp made by merchants. I fought some spiders and even a troll. That was about it, and I ended up with way more time left on the 3 months than I thought I would. So we ended up just heading back to Jumandi's castle. Jumandi lets us know that it's not going to be easy task to being the Baron of the Stolen Lands, but I think we've proven ourselves to be capable enough to do so. They're also going to be throwing us a little party, so that the other lords and ladies that surround us can, well, the way Jumandi puts us, size us up, and we'll be able to choose our advisor. Jumandi wants us to choose their adopted son, Casil, probably just to keep a close eye on us. We spoke with many of the partygoers, and there are a few other people that had something to say about the advisory role. Landir, this seemingly no-name punk, wanted us to choose him as sort of a wild card option. It was kind of a hard pass for me. Natala Sertova? Natala Sertova. Jeez, these names are really hard to pronounce. Wanted their lady, Chandra, to join us. But what the hell? If I can't even pronounce your name, that's a big no. So we go with Casil as kind of a pick the poison you're familiar with option. After making the selection, we are given the Baron title by Jumandi, and I'll let Lindsay sign us off.
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Thank you so much for watching this. It took way longer than I meant for it to, and I've learned a lot about video editing. And hopefully, due to that, the next video will come out before the new year. Fingers crossed, and I'll see you all then. Thank you.